Good evening to you this Monday night. It is the 14th of August. Thank you so much for making time for the spotlight tonight. And yes, I'm sitting in or holding fort for Ian Kitani, who is feeling a little bit unwell. We hope that he gets better very soon, all right? Start engaging us on our socials. At Brian on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag we're using tonight is the spotlight. Our sign language interpreter is Josephine Ouko. But first, these are the top stories tonight. On the spotlight tonight, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza Dialogue technical team met today at the Bomas of Kenya as the two factions ready themselves for talks.
Uliongea ukasema hata wasingisho wakifanya yenye watafanya, kuna mafuta ya nguruwe tutasukuliwa mpaka hiyo vitu yote itaisha. Umewahi kusukuliwa? Tusukue na pesa yetu.
Also tonight, duped parents and students of the controversial Wasingishu education program have promised to disrupt the devolution conference scheduled for tomorrow. Also on the spotlight tonight, Mudavadi, Chigai and Juma are in office illegally. Lobby group Lindo Gatuzi files a petition at the High Court challenging appointment of President Ruto's cabinet. Alright, my name is Brian Amuai. Let's start the program tonight. Now, the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio Dialogue teams now want their colleagues who are legislators in the National Assembly to move a motion seeking to have the committee recognized in law in a bid to ensure their recommendations are legally binding. Now, the talks officially kicked off today at the Bomas of Kenya after the two factions named their technical committees that will aid in ensuring the talks are successful. Stanley Lugaria files the following story.
Day 2 of the Azimio and Kenya Kwanza coalition bipartisan talks seems to have bore fruits after the two factions through the secretariat had a successful meeting and together agreed that the topical issues raised by both sides be raised and passed into law at the bicameral house to make the dialogue legally bound.
Said as we agreed last week, we were to reconvene this morning, and that's why we are now here. We are beginning with an introduction of our two technical teams from both the Kenya Kwanza Coalition and the Azimio One Kenya Alliance, whom we have just introduced. And this is a team that will be backing us up in the dialogue team. We shall be briefing them as much as we have individually briefed our teams. We now want to brief them on what our expectations as a team are to help us realize the objectives that we have out of this dialogue team in the quickest time possible.
Activists who made it at the Bomas have however presented a different mind on the process, insisting that the process should be public-driven rather than the current politically fronted. Led by Olo Gore of the Interface Community Help Desk, the lobbyists claim that the whole dialogue process should be conducted differently from the current norm, which usually is leaders-oriented.
What came to our mind is that normally in this country, it seems like it is the leaders who decide on what the voters can do on their behalf, but not the people giving out their views to the leaders in order to implement. So the reason as to why we came out with this is that the leaders who are just behind us here, they wrote their proposals and they are saying that this is what we need, this is what we need on the talks. But they're not giving it to the people to say that it is us, the people who voted for you, and this is what we need.
Like you, other interested Kenyans felt they could present memoranda. It's an issue for us to discuss as a team and then let you know the way forward.
Some of the issues they seek addressed in the memoranda include rotational presidency, the equitable revenue share award of the Higher Education's Loans Board, and the role of public service appointment to work in concurrent with the county government hiring board.
During presidential elections, we need to start first with the presidential elections before we go to the governor, women representative, women and members of the county assemblies, together with the members of parliament.
Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, representing the Kenya Kwanza Brigade, reiterated that the two teams will have presentation from the parliamentary team after the dialogue team's request to the two speakers for a secretariat team from the parliamentary was granted.
We have also indicated that we are here to engage in good faith, in line with our laws and our constitution, and we want to believe we are all here in the interest of the Kenyan people and the Kenyan state.
The teams are actually going to synchronize the agenda
The two sides have agreed to have discussions centered on human interest and key national issues. There seems to be light at the end of the tunnel. The second day of the dialogue talks between the Azimio and Kenya Kwanza brigades. The two factions have agreed that the issues be raised at the National Parliament and then after discussion be passed into law before now engaging in the talks beginning next week Monday. Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Now, thank you, Stanley Lugaria, for that report. Away from that, the government, through the Ministry of Interior, has today signed a memorandum of understanding with the United Nations Development Programme on the rolling out and implementation of the digital identification. And as Ian Keitani now reports, UNDP is set to mobilize resources for the implementation, with Immigration PS Julius Bitok noting that the program will be officially launched in October this year.
After President William RUTO launched the digitization of government services, with the Ministry of Interior and their ICT counterparts mandated to ensure the proper rollout of the digital ID program, Immigration PS Julius Bitok has today signed a memorandum of understanding on the rollout of the program with the UNDP. According to PS Bitok, the digital identification program that is expected to cost the government billions of money will help Kenyans access the over 5,000 government services online that were launched by President RUTO in June.
And as we may be aware, digital ID, which we are talking about here, is the foundation of access of digital services or online services. We have launched 5,000 services, but the consumption of those services is hinged around digital identity, that we have to get a digital ID that is very accurate so that Kenyans can, at the ease, at their convenience of their homes, enjoy the 5,000 services that were launched on the eCitizen platform.
In this project, the government is expected to roll out the National Master Population Register that will have all the details of everybody within the country, including foreigners, with the PS Bitok hinting at public participations set to be undertaken.
In addition to that, we're also looking at creating a Master Population Register, which comprises of data of all persons who are being born in Kenya from civil registration, data for all those people who are turning 18, that is from National Registration Bureau, data of all people migrating to Kenya, that is the foreigners, data of all refugees living in Kenya. We are going to go out there to the public through public participation so that we can engage them. Because this project is not only a government project. This is the project of the people of Kenya.
Bitok defended their partnership with UNDP, noting that the previous administration failed to implement the program due to exclusion of key stakeholders.
This project has been a big problem for the government. The other government, I don't want to mention names, did not succeed. The other one again tried and did not succeed. That is why we have said, let us leverage on the help and assistance of UNDP so that we can partner together. UNDP, I'm happy to note, that has helped more than 25 countries to go through the journey of digital identity.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Now, when I said Ian Keitani was feeling unwell, I didn't lie. That is true. So, yeah, but it's not that bad not to do, sorry. Away from that, now Finland education saga parents and students who are allegedly scammed in the overseas education program in Finland and Canada have vowed to continue with the protest this week and paralyze the devolution conference set to be attended by President William RUTO. Now, the parents have explained that the leadership of the Uasin Gishu County have been trying to, to subvert them and also to stop them from doing the protests.
The parents and students who were promised by the government of Uasin Gishu County to further their studies abroad in Canada and Finland and were defrauded of more than 900 million have now vowed to disrupt the meeting that is expected to take place there tomorrow.
Tunajua after the devolution tutatupwa mbali. Hata hatutaonekana. Chelili na Mandago unaongea maneno ambao hata hauna haya. Hauna hata ile roho ya kukatika. Uliongea ukasema hata hao wasingishwa wakifanya yenye watafanya. kuna mafuta ya nguruwe, tutasukuliwa mpaka hiyo vitu yote itaisha. Umewahi kusukuliwa? Tusikue na pesa yetu.
The County Devolution Conference is expected to be officially opened on Friday by the President William Ruto, the students claiming that the leaders of the county have been calling their parents one by one and deceiving them by bribing them while convincing them not to participate in the protest. However, they have said they will not be intimidated and will continue the protest until they get their rights.
Being the hope of your parents, and then all of a sudden the leaders who are elected rob from the same parents, is a story that will never be told in this world.
No refund.
No devolution conference.
No refund.
No devolution conference.
Uasin Gishu County Governor Jonathan B. has not yet confirmed whether the money will be returned or not, saying that they have not yet specified strategies to pay the money. According to the County Senator Jackson Mandago, he has asked the parents and students to be calm as they are preparing to find a solution to this arising conflict with the residentials. In the past 2 weeks, there have been a tug of war between the distinguished leaders and the parents at a council meeting held in the county.
You will have your time to respond. No. I cannot allow you to go further. Nataka tusikizane. Na kusikata si amesema. Lakini kuna mahali nimesema hapa wasasi hawakulipa fees. Sasa hii unasema nimesema hawakulipa ni gani?
Okay, fine. I continue.
Nilisema wasasi walilipa.
The 51 students.
Additionally, these parents and students have said that despite the importance of the devolution conference for the county, refunding their money is more important.
We need a refund. Tumechoka kuambiwa stories. Tumechoka.
Ruga Ival, Lookuptv.
Right, thank you so much, Ruga Ival, for that particular report, and we do hope that justice is served soonest, right? Seeking justice by whatever means, they have to be refunded what they lost, because it is rightfully theirs. Away from that, a family from Malindi town in Kilifi County is calling on the government to help them retrieve the body of their kin who dived to her death at the Kilifi Bridge. According to the family of the deceased, 23-year-old Beatrice Neema Kalume was a final year student at the Shanzu Teachers College in Mombasa County, with efforts to retrieve her body remaining unsuccessful.
A family from Malindi town is now calling on the government of Kilifi to help in retrieve the body of their kin who dived to death at the Kilifi Bridge.
Tumelala sote hapo nyumbani, lakini akatoka hapo saa 10 kasoro dakika 5. Akatoka, nikamuuliza, na unaenda wapi, mbona umeshuruka mbio? Akasema naenda kunywa maji. Mwambia maji yako hapo juu ya friji. Akasema sitaki maji ya friji. Nikamwambia hayako kwa friji, yako hapo juu. Akasema sitaki maji ya hapa, nenda kwa mfereji. Kagonga mlango na akatoka nje. Nikatoka kumshauri kakake. Tunamwangalia hivi, huku hayuko, huku hayuko. Ndio yule kakaka akachukua pikipiki kumfuata. Kamkosa, ndio basi ashaenda. Tukapigiwa simu kwamba na chifu wa Malindi akasema kumejishwa mtu maji kule bridge Kilifi, kwa sababu kulikuwa ameacha simu yake hii hapa na kitambulisho chake Beatrice Neema Kalume. Ndio tukaja Kilifi kumwangalia, ningepoa hivyo vyombo, mtoto wangu ndio huyo, manake simu yake iko hapa na kitambulisho kiko hapa.
It has been 4 days of searching at the Kilifi Creek, but the body has not been retrieved. And now the families, after the county government told them that it has no divers, forcing them to hire local fishermen for the search job.
Lakini kwa sasa kama taarifa zinavyosema alituchosha kwa maji, na imefikia siku ya takriban siku 4 tumekuwa tukimtafuta kwa maji, lakini bado kufikia sasa hatujapata mafanikio ambao inakuwa ni kama donda ambao.
Rescue and search operations had been due to the depth of the creek as divers faced visibility difficulties. Mr. Teddy Kalume, the elder brother to the deceased, said that the pain they were undergoing was overwhelming, meaning that they had been forced to spend money to hire local divers and purchase oxygen for them.
Zungukia kuangalia mwili kama umeonekana wapi. Paka sasa hatujaona, na sasa hivi unavyoona ni jioni, tumejosika kama familia hapa bila support yote. Uchungu upo. Uchungu ni mwingi sababu kwamba tunakodisha vifaa, ni pesa inaenda bila mafanikio yote. Kama sasa hivi tumetoka kodisha mitungi imeisha, gas hatujui wapi tutapata, na mitungi county ipo lakini hakuna kitu tumesaidiwa nayo. Ni pesa yetu, mifuko yetu ndio tumetry hiyo yote mpaka sasa tumefikia mwisho. Tuomba tu msaada.
Majina yangu naitwa Mary Pahe Madondo, natoka Malindi. Tafuta mtoto wangu ameingia kwa maji usiku wa kuamkia Jumaa Alhamisi. Wametafuta wale wavuvi wametafuta, ile boti la kaunti limeenda, lakini sasa hii nimeshinda hapa huu mchana wa leo. Wameingia tu asubuhi masaa kama 2 wametoka wakafuata shughuli zao. Mimi nikapata msaada mwingine kwa kataka msaada mwingine nikasaidiwa na wavuvi. Sasa hivi nimeshindikana, sijapata msaada. Sijaona msaada leo mpaka mtoto wangu sahihi bado yuko kwa maji, mimi nenda. Na ni siku ya
Right, now away from that, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has issued a stern warning to water utility companies not to engage in corruption. Now, the Prime CS said the water companies should have good corporate governance as required by the regulator, and they must reduce non-revenue water in their utilities to acceptable levels. Speaking while officiating the 12th edition of the Water Company Sports Association WASCO Games at William Ole Ntimama Stadium in Narok County, Mudavadi asked the county governments to ensure the water utilities companies are run professionally without any form of corruption.
In addition, I ask the county governments to ensure the water companies are run professionally without any form of corruption and with good corporate governance as required by the regulator. The water companies must reduce non-revenue water in their utilities to acceptable levels. The government assures all water utilities of its commitment to offer the necessary investments to the realization of universal access to water for all as a constitutional right.
Mudavadi added that the government is committed to transforming the way it manages its water resources and deliver water and sanitation services to its citizens. The Prime CS admitted that all have been affected by the effects of drought, flooding, unpredictable rainfall patterns, thus hampering provision of water and basic sanitation by the utilities.
However, in recent decades, deforestation, pollution, and climate change have led to severe water stress, not only in Kenya, but across the world. Kenya is a water-stressed country. A considerable size of the population still lack access to safely managed drinking water and safely managed sanitation. Climate change is worsening the situation with increasing disasters such as floods and droughts resulting to resource-based conflicts.
Water and Sanitation CS Ali Sohome said the climate change phenomenon and its effects, especially the emergence of severe cycles of drought, floods and desertification, are increasingly impacting and critically reducing the country's renewable freshwater resources.
The ministry is alert to the challenges of diminishing water resources and an ever-growing national population that increases the demand for water. Provision of water and sanitation is a devolved function. I therefore call upon all the water service providers to partner and collaborate to ensure that consumers are given appropriate attention they deserve in terms of access to water and sanitation in their areas of duty.
The WASCO Games theme is combating climate change crisis through sports, aligned to the current efforts being undertaken by the ministry, agencies, water service providers and other stakeholders to mitigate and adapt to climate change. All right, that story brings us to a fast break here on the Spotlight. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more in just a short while.
I want this done on file today.
But again, boss, it's already
I
filed.
say today.
Can I do it tomorrow?
Today.
quit. What? 1 million? I quit. Excuse me, boss. I quit.
How do you quit? What are you going to do?
So, skiza boss, nimeshinda na Loto mita million. So, unacheki kale kabisa kama ka organic farming nitajijenga nako
Toka hapa. Utarudi tu hapa.
Sawa. Adios.
It's bigger. Hourly cash wins. It's the Lotto Metamania. It's raining millions every hour. See your Lotto. Cheza Lotto Metamania. Ushinde 1 million every hour. Isitoshe, kuna mega grand draw ya hadi 200 million shillings kila Jumatano na Jumamosi. Cheza Lotto sasa. Timiza ndoto zako.
Na hii Lotto.
Nenda kwa M-Pesa paybill number 77700. Andika neno Look kama account name. Cheza la kati shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2000 na ushinde sasa. Raundi hii ni more draws, more cash. The Lotto Metamania is here.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Now, thank you so much for staying with us here on the Spotlight. Moving on, lobby group Operation Linda Ugatuzi on Monday filed a petition at the High Court challenging the creation and appointment of Musalia Mudavadi as Prime Cabinet Secretary, arguing that there is no post like that in the Constitution.
Ready?
In a startling twist of events, President William Ruto finds himself once again entangled in the legal web as advocacy group Linda Ugatuzi takes decisive action against his cabinet appointments. The group has boldly stepped into the corridors of justice, seeking to contest the constitutionality of the appointment and the establishment of the new Prime Cabinet Secretary's office.
We challenge the President's unconstitutional exercise of state authority in the creation of appointments of the appointment of Musalia Mudavadi as the Prime Secretary, whose function, as spelled out in the Executive Order Number 1, 2023, alters the basic structure of the Constitution contrary to law. We further challenge the President's cabinet-level appointments of Harriet Chigai as Cabinet Secretary, President's Women's Rights Advisor, and Monica Kathima Juma as Cabinet Secretary, President's National Security Advisor. These positions are not contemplated in the Constitution, therefore are unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional.
The crux of the group's argument hinges on the perceived burden placed on taxpayers by the simultaneous presence of three distinct office holders. The President's decision to establish the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, along with other appointments, has raised concerns about unnecessary duplication of roles and expenditures.
The three unconstitutional offices draw their enumeration benefits from the National Exchequer or public offers in their respective positions of cabinet-level appointments. The total cost of running these unconstitutional offices, if not stopped by the courts, will have serious cost implication to taxpayers' money amounting to 3.9 billion shillings in a year in the 5 years of President Ruto's presidency, and if he continues with them and wins a second term, taxpayers could have lost unconstitutionally 9 billion shillings.
Moreover, the issue of gender parity rears its head once again, highlighting the administration's failure to meet the constitutional requirement of the 2/3 gender rule.
Consequently, we believe that the creation of the office of Prime Secretary is unconstitutional, it is illegal, is unlawful, since the creation of the said office is tantamount to amending or altering the basic structure of the executive arm of government by creating two principal assistants to the president in the violation of Article 147(1) of the Constitution.
Central to this legal tussle is the position held by Musalia Mudavadi, which the group contends overlaps significantly with that of the deputy president.
The cabinet was presently constituted, fails to comply with the constitutional gender principle that not more than 2/3 of the elective and appointive bodies should comprise of the same gender. We plead with the Honorable Court that cabinet secretaries, as presently constituted, does not compromise of the 5% of persons living with disability, thus violating the Constitution and principle of affirmative action as entrenched in the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
From that, now Governor Kenneth Lusaka has today launched the Bungoma County Participatory Development Plan for 2023-2027 at the Kibabii University. Now, in his speech, Lusaka stated that the plan marked an important step in the journey of the county's development in fulfilling the expectations of the residents. Lusaka also said that the plan is important in developing the agenda of the bottom-up economic change and increasing development in the county.
As a way of achieving his manifesto, Governor Lusaka has today launched a participatory development plan in Bungoma County, which will be used as a detailed development plan for the county, providing important guidelines and simplified coordination for all the projects and plans that his administration intends to implement for the next 5 years.
It is a very nostalgic day for me. Exactly 10 years ago in this very season, and as your first governor, I made a promise of what I would deliver. Today, we are not only witnessing the fulfillment of the stipulation of the County Governments Act that each county must have a 5-year county integrated development plan to set forth clear goals and objectives, show clearly the expected outcomes, provide a monitoring and evaluation, and spell out a clear reporting mechanism. We are witnessing the pathway to the fulfillment of my social contract with the people of Bungoma from 1 decade ago.
Bumula MP Jack Walami has condemned Principal Secretary Edward Kisiangani for abandoning residents of Bumula while congratulating Governor Lusaka for his great work and promised to support him.
We work together so well, Your Excellency. And as we move forward, I want to urge our brothers who are in national government. I've seen Professor Kisiangani here. When you were appointed, our people felt so good that now we are part of government. But let them reach you. Add value to these people. Without that, mheshimiwa utarudi hapa nyumbani na hao watu watakaa na wewe utakuwa unatembea peke yako na upweke. Your Excellency, all the drivers of that very important component of your CIDP are dead or are dying. I want to congratulate you for ensuring that our farmers have seed. I want to congratulate you for ensuring that they have fertilizer, Your Excellency, for purposes of maize planting. But as we are here today, I want us to have a reflection, Your Excellency, on the sugarcane farming. And particularly on Zoe Sugar Company, which is now gotten from the ICU as on its way to the grave, Your Excellency.
The leaders who attended the event emphasized on the importance of unity and solidarity for the benefit of developing the county.
Bungoma is a gifted county. We have a lot of resources. We have very good weather. We have great people. We must be able to harness those resources to enable us to transform our society.
Nushin Mungasia, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Now, the principal of St. Anne's Girls Primary School, Cyrilla Sanya, now wants more funds to be allocated to the CBC program, citing major infrastructure challenges in facilitating the curriculum, which includes the junior secondary school. Sanya noted that this is in an effort to meet the demands of the curriculum. More funds must be set aside, insisting that apart from infrastructure challenges, the school is also facing shortage of teachers and learning materials.
The government is giving the textbooks, looking at the population as it were last year when they were doing KIPSEA. Now, a boarding school has attracted very many other girls from other schools. That means the enrollment has gone high in comparison to the textbooks that have been brought. The government only posted a few teachers. We got 4. 4 teachers. You have 14 subjects. We have 6 streams. And the projects we have to run. You need to have a music room running, art and craft room running. We are now talking of a laboratory. And we didn't have these rooms to begin with. So you have to look for a room somewhere for these things to begin working. So the government capitation that is there is not enough. During the day, we get the bus out of the garage and let the learners carry out activities. In the evening, we get it in. It is that serious. Looking at our compound, we are even talking of maybe demolishing some classes and going upwards. But where are the funds? Yeah, because we do not have actually a place that will say we'll have to put up a classroom. Our room is very small. Now, computer has come up as a subject. If you have 6 streams, and all of them have to go to the lab at least once a day. So even making the timetable becomes a challenge.
Now, Hamel, an international sport and leisure brand, opened its first Kenyan flagship store in Nairobi over the weekend. Hamel has been brought to Kenya by Wama International Group, which has more than 30+ stores in different regions. Now, according to Wama International Group, Kenya has a friendly business environment that is ideal for this venture. This move is part of a broader expansion plan in East Africa.
Almost everything. So we found out that this is the first reason we will not be able to be in East Africa without being in Kenya. That's the first part. Second part, the exciting rising of the economy it's growing more and more. It's getting more awareness, more brands. Everything is happening here in Kenya. Everything is developing. So we're trying to take a part of that and be one of the first retail companies that grows with Kenya throughout the years.
With a rich history spanning a century, Hamel's character-driven brand story resonates through its products, reflecting unique narratives. This ethos extends to the support for local sports clubs in Kenya.
The sports that we're doing throughout Kenya, we're trying our best to be having the most teams sponsored by us, to having the brand more aware, and the teams here to have the products at an affordable prices as well.
From athletes to everyday enthusiasts, Hamel's presence promises to enrich the Kenyan sports and lifestyle scene. The brand's ethos of play, share and enjoy is set to captivate the nation. Now, home golf player Olaf Grothlig carded an impressive round of 72 gross to claim the overall title of the 11th leg of NCBA Bank Golf Series that was held at the past 71 Nyali Golf and Country Club. Now, Mary Randu carded 82 gross, beating her closer opponent to Fena Oyaro on countback to win the ladies category. The Nyali edition featured both experienced and junior players.
On COVID, and all I could do, I was caddying for at the LET. That brought me back to the game, and I said, okay, let's try. So I came on Thursday and played golf for, I think, almost 2 years. I only haven't been to the range, and then I said, oh, there's a competition. That's from NCBA. I'm an NCBA customer. Okay, let's try it. And I was very pleased to do it well. I'm already having an account, but if I wouldn't have an account, I would immediately on Monday open up an account with NCBA. Organized an event like this is how much work it is, how much you have to do, things to think about it. So I'm very happy to be here.
All right, we continue with the program tonight. Now, the 2023 East Africa Secondary School Games fixture are out. Kenya's representatives, Shandorema High School, will tackle CGFK of Rwanda in the opening match on 19th this month. Dagoretti High School will play St. Mary's Kitende of Uganda, and the Kenya national champions St. Anthony Kitale will face off St. Henry Kitovu of Uganda. Now, 20 times Premier champions Manchester United will host Wolverhampton Wanderers at Old Trafford in Week 1's final fixture. Now, the Red Devils will miss the services of youngsters Amad Diallo and Robbie Maino, who suffered injuries during their pre-season tours, with the match set to kick off at 10 p.m. Right, thank you so much for making time for the program tonight. This has been the Spotlight. I was holding fort for Ian Keitani. Do have yourselves a lovely night. Sign language interpreter tonight has been Josephine Oko. Good night.